Hey everybody, this is Glidercat and it's time to play. We are back in FortressCraft Evolved, and as you can see, since last episode, I've done quite a bit of work. We have some basic initial defenses set up here, and I'll show you how these are wired up and powered. We have basic defenses set up over here. I've been just kind of chewing away at this mountain. There's almost no reason for doing this. I guess I should be actually clearing out this part or any obstructions between our hub and the overmines, which are again at the four corners diagonally from our hub. There's an overmind on each corner. I should be kind of doing that. Anyway, I started chewing away at this mountain with one of these auto excavators here. This one looks like it's just about done with this current row. Let's move this and then I'll show you what else has been going on. Let's carve out a spot here. In fact, let's carve out a bunch of this. So much to do in this game. Oh my gosh. I'm overloaded with decisions. I'll show you what we've got set up underground here in a second. It needs work. I have a bunch of temporary stuff set up, and it's time to like move off of the temporary and get back and get into thinking a little bit more intermediate term. Let's see. It looks like I need more lasers. I'm not sure if this one's going to make it. Let me grab this guy. Come over here. See if it'll pick up the signal. Not sure it's gonna. Anyway, let's place the auto excavator right there and see how that does. Whoops, looks like I can move it one more over. Looks like we are going to get power, so that's good. Boom. Is that going to work? Yeah, so he'll just chew through that whole tower of rock for us automatically. We don't need to worry about it. Let me show you what we've got going here. Our initial little coal deposit that we had at the start of the game, that ran out. And so I'm sourcing coal from way over here. There's a huge deposit. Way back here, I can scan it. This guy's got 403,000 coal for us. And I've just got, what do I have going on here? There's our mining drill way up top. Logistics hopper sending the coal down. Pretty straightforward. And then I'm just routing the power all the way from our hub. That's where the power is coming from for that mining operation. And it's just sending coal back to the hub to supplement the power. Up top here, we've got 6. These are Mark II lasers. They are much more effective than the Mark Is, and they're not hard to get. It doesn't take a lot of research to get these. And then I've got what are these? Power supplies. Does it show? I can't seem to interact with these. I thought I could. I think those are Mark I power storage blocks. Let's just see. No, those are Mark II storage blocks. They each hold 1,500 power. The level 1s that we were using only hold 200, so that's quite an increase. So you can see I've got 4 on those corners where the attacks come in from the overmines. And then I've got 2 in the middle here. These also help out, but the main reason I actually put these here is these ones on the corners. If we kind of dig underneath, this is how I'm powering these power storage blocks. I've got a pyrothermic generator and then a hopper here full of, this is actually refined coal or enriched coal. You can see it there, 100 enriched coal. And I'll show you how I'm making that. So all 4 corners are supplied with power that way. However, when the mobs come to attack, let me just fill this hole real quick. Boom, boom. These single lasers, they will run out of power and it will not regenerate quite fast enough. So what I did is I put some storage blocks here. There's nothing underneath these. They're fed by the hub. And then I've got lasers sending power to either side. So it's just a way of supplying a little bit of extra power from the hub to these corners. And typically the attacks only come in from one side, one corner at a time. So, and I've got the same thing on this side. Again, there's nothing underneath this, and all four corners are fed underground. We'll go take a look at that maybe right now. I've got the threat monitor here. So it's showing that our base rating in the lower left is 102. Anything over 100 is going to prompt an attack. And it's saying that there's an attack estimated to arrive here in about 12 minutes. Now, the thing about this is our base rating is hovering right around 100. So sometimes it dips underneath and then that puts off the attack. But pretty soon we're going to be over 100 all the time. So there'll always be attacks coming. But right now it's estimating in 11 minutes we'll have an attack. So we'll see that when it happens. I think our defenses should hold up. Underneath, what do we got going on here? This is the first floor. Here's the hopper supplying that enriched coal to a pyrothermic generator, which is just behind this. And then our laser turret is above that. And then how are we routing all this coal? There's another laser turret up above this hopper. And we are generating that coal. Where is it? Over here. So this is kind of this is a little squirrely right now. This is going to get cleaned up. This is all kind of, a lot of the stuff we've got in place right now is semi-temporary. It's going to be around for a while, but it's not the final solution. So what do we got going here? We've got a coal deposit. There's not a lot here, actually. If I scan this, this guy's only got about 23,000 units of coal. But we've got a pyrothermic generator that's powering the coal drill. Coal is being sent over into, bear with me on the camera angle, into this hopper. It then goes into a coal enricher. That requires power. And that power is being sent from the pyrothermic generator across these laser transmitters straight into that guy, the enricher. Then it belts up. And the enriched coal goes on this little block here, which is a conveyor turntable. You can kind of think of it as a splitter. It's a little more random and unpredictable than I would like. But right now it seems to be working okay. Then that enriched coal travels back up a belt. Down, it's a little hard to see here. Down, and then it feeds this hopper. And then this is the hopper that's feeding the pyrothermic generator. So the pyrothermic generator is using this enriched coal. And the enriched coal produces a lot more power than just the plain coal. So that's why we're going through this whole process. So some of that enriched coal goes back to feed the pyrothermic generator that's powering all of this. And then the rest is being distributed through some belts, basically to those four corner turrets that we've got up on the top layer. And again, there's a hopper. Underneath the hopper is a pyrothermic generator. And then on top of that is that Mark II battery. And then on top of that is the turret. So that's what we've got going, powering our defenses right now. The other thing we've got kind of going on here. Oh, this is kind of cool. We just broke through the wall. On the first floor here, the first level down, I've been thinking about, how we want to lay out our factory. And on this first floor, I think we want to focus on defense, everything related to defense that's going to take place at the surface. So this would mean like the power generation, fueling the laser turrets with power, but then also eventually maybe doing crafting for the missile turrets and things that we'll have later in game. So this floor, mostly going to be, like I said, defense focused. Maybe the power production, wherever we need to produce power, we'll do it on this floor. And then any kind of fabrication for missiles and things any kind of consumable defense items we can produce here. So I've been using these guys. Not these guys. These guys down here. Just like we saw at the top of the episode, that auto excavator that was just excavating all the material directly above it. These guys work horizontally, and there's 3 of them stacked on top of each other here. And they will clear out horizontal areas if you give them power. Kind of automatically, and that's what I've been doing. So they actually broke through to the outside over here. And they won't go through ore, so these guys will leave ore for us, which is kind of cool. I think later on there may be an upgrade that we can unlock if we wanted to have these lasers chew through the ore as well. But I kind of don't want that. I kind of want to keep the ore around. So we just caught a glimpse. There's an overmine way back there. You can see one of its stalks kind of moving around. So this guy I've had just kind of clearing out floor space for us, and we need to maybe do more. Let's go down and see what's going on at the second level down. It's a bit hodgepodge right now. The last episode you saw, we were kind of starting to set up little mini handcrafting, manual kind of crafting stuff. So I've got a bunch of little stations here where we're making things like plates and wire, and what do we got here? This is lightweight machine housings. These take forever to build. Charged lithium coils. We'll talk about those in a bit. And then we've got this guy's doing experimental pods, which are used for research. This all needs to kind of change. And then here we're doing primary upgrade modules, and these are all kind of hand-fed. This all needs to be converted to to be automated, so we're not having to kind of hand feed these things ingots. Over here, we ran through our initial copper deposit. I can't remember exactly where that was. Oh, right here probably, where I filled in the ground. Our initial copper deposit ran out, so now we are tapping into this one. This guy has quite a bit. About 400,000 more units of copper. And I'm just belting that over to the same smelter setup we had from before. And we can grab the bars. Boom. 68 copper bars out of there. And then our tin is still going the way it was before. 69 tin bars. That deposit, I think, is doing okay. We've got another copper deposit here we can tap into later. Let's see what this guy's got. 5 million copper. So that one will probably be next, and it'll probably last a long time. In fact, one of the things I want to get to, here's our tin. Tin's a little more scarce in the area than I was hoping. 158,000 left of that. So we've got a little bit of time, and then we've got coal all over the place. I don't think coal's going to be a big problem for us. So here on the second level, what do we want to do on the second level? Second level, I'm looking at my notes here, is I think this is where we want to do all of our smelting. Because smelting takes a ton of power. And the pyrothermic generators that we're using right now to do the smelting, these guys, they will not work, or they work less efficiently once you get below, I think it's 25 meters deep. They start starving for oxygen, and then they won't work as efficiently. So you want to keep these as much as you can above 25 meters. So that kind of makes me think this floor would be good for smelting all of our ores. And then maybe doing crafting that's related to research. So automating the crafting for stuff like this. What this guy's doing. This research assembler, this takes a lot of power and it's slow. It'd be good to do that assembly, I think, down here on the second floor down. And then I was also thinking we could, on this floor, set up some production lines just like for a mall. like conveyor belts, things we need to build, those laser power transmitters, the batteries. Maybe we set up some type of automated production for those things that we keep using as we build out the factory on this second floor. Now, I haven't started the auto excavation on this floor. That's something we probably need to get to because we're going to need space. And I'll explain what that's doing over there next. So this episode's going to be a lot of just going over what's been done between episodes. Then I think the third floor down, we don't have anything going on down here right now. I was thinking of using this floor for routing. So we're going to smelt ores on the second floor. We're going to do crafting, a lot of crafting on the second floor as well. Maybe if there's a need to route materials across the factory, we could do it on this floor and just have the belt spaghetti down here kind of hidden from everything else. And then I was thinking down the fourth floor, potentially we could use this for storage. Storage of smelted ores, storage for unsmelted ores, and set up a bunch of mass storage. We'll see how those plans work out. Okay, what do we got going here? I started to tunnel all the way down to the cold layers. Let's head down and I'll show you how far we've gone. This is all hand dug out. Takes forever. Here is our, where are we at? We're 70 meters down. This is our iron that we're currently collecting. We've got 836,000 ore left in this deposit. So we're doing pretty good. And then here, I've just been powering this by hand, right? We want to get away from doing that. I'm going to send some power in here. First, I'll feed the extractor, then I'll feed the little battery we've got next to it. And it's one of the cheaper batteries, level 1s. It only holds 200 power. And then I'll take the iron out of these. That's what's going on here. I'd love to just send power down here and get these materials belted back up rather than having to collect it. And one of the reasons for this tunnel, which we're going to go see coming through here, is so we can send power down to these lower levels. Again, if I try and place a pyrothermic generator here, I guess I can show you. Let's just do it. Assuming I have storage. There's a pyrothermic generator. I'm a little light on hoppers. Got a mini hopper there. Let's plunk that down. And let's feed this guy with coal. Or I've got some enriched coal. Throw that in there. See what it says in the lower left? The PTG, pyrothermic generator, is starved of oxygen. The pyrothermic generator cannot function this deep. So I don't even know if it's trying to burn the material that we just sent in or not, but it's not going to generate power for us down here at minus 70. That's why we need to create shafts or power shafts or tunnels, whatever you want to call them, a way to send power down from up top down to the lower levels. And that's what this whole drill, oh man, I'm gonna die. I didn't. Okay, I made it. But that's what this tunnel's about. So we just dropped 30 meters. We're down at minus 100. I'll head back to the stairs. We took some damage there. We'll heal up. Let's head down. There's another deposit here we're gonna see. Yeah, I just drilled out most of this stuff. Yeah, here's our next deposit that I found. We've got over in the back here some lithium. Right click on that with the scanner. Okay, that's only got 64,000, a little more than 63,000 units of lithium. That's not great. We're going to get through that and have to find another deposit. While we're here, let me just power this up like we did before. And I've upgraded my power storage and Arthur's power storage. So we've got the ability to carry a lot more power with this. I'm going to collect this lithium up. scan. Ideally, we want this belted and power routed here, so we're not doing this manually. There's a huge deposit of tin here, too. This is how much? Well, 41,000. And there's more tin here. 56,000. That's our lithium. Found that. And scanning that material, finding it and scanning it unlocks things in the research. So that was important to do. And then I kept going down, kept going down. Kept going down. Down to 200. Okay, now we're getting into kind of craziness. I've got a bajillion torches on this wall because as you get below 200, I think, it starts getting super duper cold. These help generate a little heat, but it turns out even that's not enough to survive. We walk down there, we will quickly exhaust the power we've got left. So I knew from my last playthrough that I think it's crystal deposits are down here in the frozen area. You can see it here without all those lights. Everything's kind of blue and frozen. We scanned the blocks and that unlocked some research points for us. But I wanted to get crystal, and every time I kept going down here trying to extend our stairway, I mean, I would just run out of energy immediately and start getting hypothermia. So what I did, I scanned for unknown resources up here. I'm going to do known ore because it's going to show up as known, but originally when I came down here, I scanned for unknown resources like this. And under unknown, there was that deposit there. You just saw it kind of flash by. So in order to research that, just researching some of these blocks unlocks technology, just scanning them. I dug a huge hole here. Let's see if I can show you. Just from standing up here where it was nice and safe. Drilled down towards that deposit that came up on the scanner is unknown. And there is our crystal. Let me go ahead and get the scanner here. There's a crystal deposit down there. 575,000 crystal. We're not mining it yet. It takes a special attachment to the mining drill to even be able to mine this stuff that we don't have. And then walking down there is super duper freezing cold. So it's doable, but it's hard to do it until we get some upgrades to start mining this stuff. But I was able, like I said, to drill down here from a safe area and scan it and then research it. And that unlocks some stuff for us. So let's fill this hole. Let's see. I do need to organize my toolbar, my hotbars here. Boom, boom, boom. Let's fill that so we don't fall in. And I can kind of show you if we walk down here. You were going to see. Let's see where we get. See my power in the top left? My top left, how it's draining like crazy fast. It's very hard to work in this area until we get upgrades to our suit. Look at the power. I'm being replenished by Arthur, so he's charging me, but he's going to run out of charge. He just did. Look how fast that power drains out. So we need some upgrades. Anyway, one last thing though while we're down at this level. I sent power down. I drilled, kind of had to mostly hand drill this initial tunnel all the way up to, I think, -20. So up near the surface. And then used a couple laser power transmitters to send power all the way down here to level 200. And I'm feeding one of these auto excavators to create more shafts for us. We'll use these shafts to send power down to these lower floors where we can't get to it. And then I think once we get cargo lifts, we can use those to send material back up to, say, like the second level and do our smelting. But right now, I just got this started, and I'm trying to think through how I want to lay it out. Right now, we've got kind of a tunnel going up to the surface that is, I think 6x3 so far. This guy does 3x3s. And I've stopped it. I'm not sure how far I want to go. or how I want to lay these out. Now we got, oops, okay, I'm running out of power. I got to get out of this floor. You can see we're starting to get hypothermia. Let me run up top and hopefully I won't die in the process. We can go stand over by these torches. That'll heat us up. I just stand by these. You'll see the hypothermia kind of fades off. And you can see at the top center, kind of a little bit off to the right, how our suit temperature is going up. So now we should be able to make it back to the surface. I have 0 power. Come back up through here. Eventually, I think we can use lifts that can, like an elevator that moves us up and down. And I believe there's teleporters too, which I've never used. We don't have to get dizzy walking upstairs. But we're probably not going to go down there too often on camera, I don't think. But boy, I've had to make a bunch of trips myself up and, up and down these steps. It's a little crazy. All right. Our power should recharge here. I think at 30, it'll still recharge. We're 30 below the surface and we're now charging up. Arthur's able to get energy and so am I. So we're charging up. Anyway, that shaft, let me show you. That is actually being powered down here. We're at minus 30. And if we look up top here, could maybe mine some of this back. Again, this is still kind of temporary setup. But basically, I've got some coal being mined off of this little deposit, a pyrothermic generator, and that is powering this laser to send power all the way down to level 200. You can see it kind of there, part of it. All the way down to minus 200. We have power down there, and again, these shafts, we're going to send power down and send ore up, basically. I'm just trying to think through how I want to lay these out. We want like a port of 6, send down a bunch of power, then a little bit of space, then another tunnel going down that maybe has cargo lifts to bring ore up, and then more power going down, and that. I'm still trying to think that through. I haven't totally come up with a design I'm ready to use yet. This, I don't think this serves too much of a purpose, this stuff here. But we'll see. So that's another little project that's going on. Let's go to the surface. I think we may have missed the battle from me babbling. There may be another one coming. Nope, there was no battle. Like I said, because we're hovering around 100, the threat level, and it's based on, I think, how many ores we ores we smelt into bars, how much power we're generating and consuming, and I think there's one other metric too. And those all go into an equation that churns out a threat level. Yeah, right now we're at 66, probably because we have some smelters that aren't running. We still have our basic smelter here that I'm hand feeding those ores that I'm collecting from underground. Lithium and the iron. Been kind of hand feeding in here just temporarily. The smelt bars. If there were a battle up here, we'd see a bunch of parts of enemies sitting up here at the surface. But since we don't, I can see that there was no battle. While we're up here, I'm going to move this auto excavator one more notch over. Kind of a low priority thing. I won't do much of this on the episode. That guy will just start chewing through all that ore. It doesn't collect it, doesn't chew through ore, but it just gets rid of this material. Gives us a bigger platform to work with. All right, so let's talk about what we want to do the next few episodes. I think our defenses are going to hold. We're going to watch the next battle whenever it comes and just see if these lasers can do it on their own without any assistance. I've had several battles early on where I had to get my laser gun out, boom, and start shooting. The way this thing works, you left click just for a little shot that I think does about 10 damage. Or you can hold the right click for like a power shot, boom, and that can do like 150 damage or something if you hold it. So I've had to help out on a couple battles because our central processing or central power hub here was taking quite a bit of damage. And once that thing gets destroyed, basically it reboots and your power level goes to 0, and it takes quite a while to recover. It's a setback. It hasn't happened yet. We can see if I point at the threat scanner here, the little radar dish here, the lower left, is base rating 69. So again, we got to get to 100 or more before we have any attacks. We've killed 309 mobs in 35 waves, and we've lost 0 times. So far we've been doing pretty good. And the mobs, I think, are individual enemies. Let's see. But yeah, next battle we'll kind of hang out up here, try not to help out with our laser or by supplying extra energy to these batteries and see if they can hold off. In the near term, I want to add 2 more turrets, kind of where these blocks are, all the way around, and do the same kind of thing. We'll power them from below, and then that should hold off the enemy for a good long time. Now, once the enemy comes, they're going to leave a bunch of parts on the ground here. We can collect those up and make use of them. I got a bunch in my inventory, in fact. So let's see. If I sort by type, all this stuff kind of in the middle. Let's see here. Pristine faceted eyes. I'm looking at the hotbar to see what these are. Pristine heavy chitin. Pristine light chitin. Pristine phosphorus glands. This is all the stuff that the enemies drop. There's a bunch of in the pristine class, and then there's a bunch in the ruined class here. Ruined faceted eyes, ruined heavy chitin. Excuse me. These ruined ones can be reassembled later on into, I think, into pristine ones. And why do we care? What about why do we want even pristine ones? These are used in crafting things. So I think these eyes are used for creating lenses that increase the power transmission of these guys, these laser energy transmitters, or LETs. We can, if I go into here, see it's got room for a lens. That'll increase the transfer rate. That's going to be important later on for us. And again, we can create those lenses from these little bug eyes, basically. And then these other ones are used for things as well. The stingers in particular are used for weapons, I think, and some other crafting stuff. So that's what that's all about. We need to set up automated collection of those parts. We'll get to that later. It's more compelling if I can show you what they look like when they're all on the ground. Let's talk about next episode. That was the recap episode. We're about to end this one. Next episode, what do we want to do? We need to take this mess here, all this kind of goofy hand crafting stuff, and start to replace it with real automated production chains, right? So that we've got automation from the time we're mining the ore all the way through smelting it, transforming it into plates or wire or spools or whatever we need to do. And the end product is most likely going to be these things. Stuff that this guy puts out, which is research pods. So let's look at that for a second. I think I've got some in inventory here somewhere. Yeah. Up here in the second row, you can see I've got basic experimental pods, and then I've got simplified experimental pods. This is like almost like science packs, right? In Factorio. These things we're going to need to produce tons of them. Same with these guys. Let's see if I can sort this. These guys right here in the third row. This is a basic PCB, which I think is that printed circuit board or something? And then here's a hardened PCB. Here's a primary upgrade module here in the fourth. There's a bunch of different components that we need to manufacture that are related to research, and they're consumable in the research lab, which we have yet to build. So that's going to kind of guide our production lines. We know we're going to need lots and lots of those things. That's what I want to start doing next episode. And I want to start probably with copper. So set up production lines for everything we can do with just copper. We've got the big deposit we just saw over there. I think it was like 400,000 we saw earlier. I think there's another huge one over here. Let's take a look. Yeah, almost 1 million copper here. So what I'm thinking we do, and maybe I'll do some of this between episodes to get us ready. Is we got a huge copper deposit down there. We've got another big copper deposit right there. So maybe somewhere in this area, we look to start setting up our copper production lines. That means all these blocks, though, a bunch of these blocks need to be cleared out. And I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it by hand like this because this will take forever. I mean, all of this tunnel was done by hand in between episodes, different times. Yeah, just put something on YouTube to listen to, and just had spent my time digging these huge tunnels looking for resources and things. But now that we've got the auto excavators, we can put them to work. And we've got defenses, so we can start using more power, throwing down more of these pyrothermic generators without too much worry about the enemy threat. That's what we're going to do next episode. Focus on copper production lines. That was a lot to take in this episode. Apologize, but I wanted to get you up to speed with where things are at. For now, this is Glidercat signing off, saying thanks so much for watching. Enjoy having you here with me on this journey of FortressCraft Evolved. It is not a new game, but man, there's a ton of stuff to do in this game. And man, I'm just barely scratching the surface. I've got about, overall, over the years, I've got about 400 hours into FortressCraft Evolved, and I've never, finished. I've never even gotten to the DLCs. So we're going to try and move quite a bit faster this time and get to some of the advanced content. We're just getting started. So again, thanks for watching, and I will see you all in the very next episode.